Hey guys, Spirit of the Law here. Today we're looking at the moments when there was some pretty funny logic in Age of Empires. Now, I don't mean this topic in a mean-spirited sort of way, and obviously we all have a ton of respect for the people who made the game. They did a great job, and it's a lot of fun to play. Of course, you should be playing it for its entertainment as a game and not for its historical accuracy and bulletproof logic. Sometimes, though, there's a noticeable discrepancy between what would happen in reality and what happens in the game, enough so that you just have to laugh. We're just used to these things now, but there were moments where we scratched our head the first couple times we played, or if we think about them too hard. So I'm going to be doing a top 20 countdown, and there's nothing too specific about the ordering, although in general, the ones that I always considered the weirdest have been placed furthest in the list. I also can't take credit for all of these, as there's that Age of Empires meme that I've seen before and that a few of these came from, and on Cision's website he has another list of this. I highly recommend you check out his list for more awesome ones that I left out, and if you don't know, Cision is the lead designer of the Forgotten Empires expansion, and if I had to make a list of 5 people in the Age of Empires community that you should probably know the name of, I would say he's one of them. But with that, let's get started with this top 20 countdown. Starting things off at number 20 is buildings lighting on fire. So this happens when they're hit by swords, arrows, or anything else. Look, I get the idea that the arrows might be flaming, but you can't tell me this elephant has flaming tusks. Sort of related to this idea, it's a bit hard to believe that these buildings can be on fire for hundreds of years in game time and yet never burn down or have the fire burn out. If a building was on fire but otherwise perfectly functional for the entire Middle Ages, I would think that would be pretty notable. Number 19, staying with buildings for a minute here, why does it take longer to repair than to build? To be fair, it does take half as many resources to repair as to build from scratch, but I'm a bit confused as how you can build a house from nothing faster than you can repair one that's still standing. Number 18, 5 elephants on a boat. It's a little strange that transport capacity is dictated by the number of units and not by the weight of the units, or even the size. Apparently, the ship can accommodate 5 elephants and yet not 6 villagers, despite the fact that a villager should be less than a tenth the size of an elephant. Perhaps there are 5 rooms on the boat, and everyone in this civilization is very picky about the fact that they do not share rooms with each other, and each of them take one of the very large rooms to themselves. Still, you gotta think, if each of these rooms can hold an elephant, there probably could have been room for one more villager in this situation. Tough luck, lady. Number 17, barracks cost wood but appear to be made out of stone. Now, barracks aren't the only example of this, and there's a few wonders that we could include here as well. But this Dark Age Britain's barracks is clearly made out of stone. The Feudal Age barracks is mostly stone, and the Castle Age barracks is also mostly stone. So why does it cost 175 wood? The Japanese castle is clearly made out of a lot of wood, and yet it costs only 650 stone. I love the inclusion of different architectural styles, just may have been cool to include the materials that they're supposedly made out of. Number 16, everything is in color. Look, everyone knows that the world was black and white before the 1940s. We have video evidence of this. Why is Age of Empires in color if it's supposedly from an era before color was invented? Hang on, I'm actually being told it was only video that was black and white before the 40s, not real life. Okay, assuming that's true, number 16 we'll replace with, why can't you trade with your own markets? If the rationale between trade being more valuable between far regions is, you have something we want over there, and we have a different luxury good over here, so let's trade, then why does it have to be between a market owned by someone else? Are they saying that trade can't happen within an empire, or that it can't be taxed for some reason? Number 15, sheep can explore. What is this? Are we telling these sheep where to go? Are they just choosing these routes by themselves as they systematically explore the area for us? Are they that smart? If they're that smart, then why are they coming back to be killed? They should be making a break for it. Even if they do come back, how are we getting the information from them? Is there some lost art of sheep whispering? Sort of related, I want to know why this wolf is just letting the sheep casually stroll by. Something here just isn't adding up with the sheep. Number 14, why do villagers know nothing about the surrounding area at the start of the game? I want to know, how is there a village in the middle of nowhere and they know nothing about what's around them? How did they get there? There's no path to the edge of the map. Oh, well, the four of us just woke up here and built this town, but never thought to, I don't know, find a source of food? Maybe some water? Isn't that the most important thing to make sure you have access to when you start a city? Number 13, while I'm on the topic of your starting village, can someone explain how one villager can populate a new village? Like reproduction-wise, that is. You know what, even if we're starting with 3 villagers, I'm still skeptical. I get the feeling there's a lot of recessive traits in this population, if you know what I'm saying. Number 12, villagers can't walk through trees. This gives us all a little surprise the first time we try. Now, I get that the trees themselves are solid, and you can't walk through one of them, but there has got to be enough room for you to slip between these trees. I mean, you'd barely have to turn sideways. Even if this is some sort of superstitiousness on the part of the villagers, why can't the wolves go through the trees? I mean, these palm trees aren't even close. There's area between them that doesn't even have shade. That's how much space there is between them. Number 11, sort of related, why can't villagers walk through a 1% completed building? This isn't just your own villagers, but even enemies. I'm surprisingly okay with the fact that a building is a pile of materials at 99%, but instantly becomes a complete building at 100%. That actually doesn't bug me. The fact that wolves politely stop chasing you to get out of your way while you build is kinda crazy though. Why does everyone, including nature, have so much respect for your construction sites? The insanity doesn't stop there though. Number 10, even when the building is done, they can't walk through it. Yes, that's right, you build a house that clearly has a door on it, and presumably one on the other side, and they can't walk through it. Okay, maybe there isn't a door on the other side, but why do I have to build all these houses if no one can even go in them? They can't even walk through this market, and it looks pretty open to me on both sides. Number 9, can we talk about houses a bit more? Why can no one be born until I have enough houses for everyone? No homelessness is a great thing for society to try to achieve, but why does this fishing ship even need a house? You're telling me that all 5 of these units need a house? And all 5 of them can be flatmates in the same one? Really? I guess I'm just trying to figure out how they're physically stopping new people from being born until there are houses for everyone. Is there really no natural birth happening here? Still a better love story than Twilight. Number 8, stepping back from villagers and towns for a minute, why is the king so fast? Now, I'm obviously not the first one to wonder about this, and I get it from a game-making perspective, but come on, he could be on a horse or something. He's not even a fit-looking guy. This dude is dressed up like an eagle and can't even beat him in a race. That being said, maybe he's letting the king win. The eagle dude is probably like, whoa my lord, you're so fast, I could never keep up with you. Let me put it this way, do you think Kim Jong-un ever loses a race? I don't think so. The king's probably like, I'm the fastest guy in the kingdom. Anybody that beats me in a race must have cheated. Kill them. And everybody's like, oh snap, let's just slow down here a little bit. El Cid's over there saying, easy there, Babieka, let's not do anything rash, or this could turn into the Godfather real quick. Number 7, monks carry relics larger than they are. Unless that relic is full of helium, I don't see how he could possibly be lifting this. It's bigger than he is. It doesn't even slow him down, he walks just as fast. Number 6, the Chinese invented block printing, but they don't get access to it in the game. Now this opens a huge set of questions about weird technologies that were done obviously for game balance reasons, and it opens questions about every civilization, like why do Aztecs have guys who can carry gunpowder but they can't use guns? Why do Huns have universities? And other historical anomalies like why did William Wallace win the Battle of Falkirk in the tutorial? And why did the English supposedly lose the Battle of Hafleur? I've chosen to focus on Chinese block printing though because it really wouldn't compromise the competitive balance between the civs at all to give them this technology, and it's one of those times where the history of the technology is widely known. If you don't like my choice for some reason, then we'll substitute it with the Chinese not having access to the hand cannoneer. It's all under the same banner here, and I notice the Chinese seem to be getting the worst of it. Number 5, you can convert units with monks, and they join your side. Look, I'm not even sold that converting someone's religion means they'll necessarily join your side in a war, but it gets 10 times worse when that's a Christian monk converting a unit that's also from a Christian nation. I'd be okay if these were spies bribing someone, I mean that makes sense, but converting them when they're currently stabbing or shooting you from long range? No. They don't even have to be in bow and arrow range for this conversion to work. The explanation of this conversion is literally hand-waving. Number 4, to go one further, why does this work with non-humans? How can you change an elephant, siege weapon, or building's religion? I know I mentioned this before, probably in the Persian overview, but it's just a logic hole that I feel could have been replaced by any of a number of different explanations. Maybe regular units need spies to bribe them, and buildings or siege need engineers to come in and convert them or something. I don't know, but this monk thing just really pushes it for me. Naturally, buildings are the most stubborn to have religious debates with of all the non-human convertible things, so they take the longest. Number 3, rams attacking farms. Can someone explain to me how this ram is possibly hitting this farm? Rams swing in the air. Farms are plants and seeds in the ground. Something about this just doesn't compute. Now I'd get it if driving the ram over the farm destroyed it, that would be kinda cool, but attacking it? After a few ram hits, the farm lights on fire. But don't worry, those farms are completely functional while on fire, and you can harvest just as much food from them. Number 2, Teutonic Knights can take more hits than a building. Yes, the Teutonic Knights can take 1 damage from Tarkans, so they can ultimately survive 100 hits. Teutonic houses take less than 100 hits from Tarkans. Yes, I'm cherry picking here a little bit because Tarkans have a damage bonus to houses, but come on, a Teutonic Knight takes longer to destroy than a house. This is also assuming that the Tarkan is invincible and can keep fighting as long as it takes to bring the Teutonic Knight down. This just shouldn't be possible, should it? The Huskarl gets an honorable mention here as well for being similarly absurd with being able to take 70 close range arrow shots before it dies. Number 1, I've asked this before, why do villagers put away their bow and arrow when they switch from hunting to fighting? It just makes no sense. What are you doing? They have this awesome range attack and they abandon it when they go into combat against a unit that actually fights back. They even get flaming shots after you research chemistry. Oh man guys, we have these flaming arrows and hunting bows. Better defend ourselves with knives. Here the scout cavalry drops in on the hunting party, so they obviously have their bows with them. They were just using them. And they put them away to try to chase them down with knives. What are you doing guys? This was actually worse in Age of Empires Classic because in the first game, they did more damage with their spears that they used to hunt animals. Thankfully, the attack power has been brought back down and it's the same 3 attack with the bow and the knives, but I still shake my head every time they bring a knife to a bow fight. And I've been playing this game for quite a while. Anything that still confuses me to this day after all these games I've played has to be number 1 for me. Feel free to let me know any others that you think I may have missed. As for the next video, I'm going to be looking at what's the best way to get your units away from a town center that you've come a little bit too close to. That's all for this one. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you next time.